Hey, it is your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today. Much love going out to the beautiful, empowered harmonizers. We are zooming in and focusing in on a great viewer question, and that was to look at why does the malignant narcissist, the covert narcissist, engage in false accusations of another? This is known as projection or gaslighting. Why do they engage in this? What do they get out of it? Why is this a core function of their personality dynamic and their personality disorder? And before we get started, I just want to give a huge shout out to those of you who have recently contributed and donated to the channel. Thank you so much for your kind wishes in sharing your experience with me and making a donation. It is viewers like you who make it all worth it for me, Peace and Harmony, and helps to keep the channel alive and lets me know that we're discussing something of value that has impart tools of wisdom. It is my goal and my passion to be able to reach out to others who have experienced these very traumatizing relationships with personality disordered individuals and give you a hand up to actually be here to help get you out of the muck, the messes that have been oftentimes created by these people, the emotional messes, physical messes, psychological or financial messes of all sorts and sundry ways that can occur in all areas of your life. It's so devastating. It's terrible. And it's very terrible also to not have anywhere to turn, not have anyone to talk to about this, especially when it's so personal in nature and it's so very peculiar to go through these things and to be hammered relentlessly, for months or years in emotionally abusive relationships and not really have anyone to talk to or really have people to talk to who don't really get it or don't really haven't been there, so they can't really effectively help you. So it is absolutely my goal here to give you these tools and results. So thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, your experiences, your contributions, your comments, and your insights and support in the community. So thank you once again. So we're going to zoom in and focus in on this great viewer question is, why do the malignant narcissist, the covert narcissist engage in projection? Why do they engage in gaslighting, where they are constantly trying to engage in like false accusations or jabs to another? In other words, why are they always pointing out the flaws of others? Why do they make a big deal? Why are they trying to always control others in a negative fashion? Doesn't that seem like a lot of work? Doesn't that seem like a pain in the butt? Why would somebody put so much energy in falsely accusing and trying to bring others down? It seems so counterintuitive to really most people's relationships. It seems so contradictory. Why would you burden yourself with trying to control others in a way that is not really beneficial to them? Why would you seek just to bring other people down? It seems so counterintuitive to humanity. Well, there you go. When someone who is personality disordered, who has a fixation, an obsession really, on, just to use some common terms, on controlling others and trying to falsely accuse them, in other words, start to render their own natural organic thought process and human God-given inalienable right for happiness and the ability to be personally empowered, meaning you have a sense of being able to be guided in your life. Personal empowerment is just that. It's the ability to allow and trust in your own internal instincts of wisdom and your intuition, your instinct. In other words, to have your own personal judgment, your own personal values, things which are meaningful and important to you, things which are sacred, just things. When I talk about sacred, I mean things that you hold dear, things that you cherish, things that you really like, that you're attached to. Inherently, these are your decisions and they're really not causing you trouble. But that's what they want to go for. They want to harpoon you in the heart, essentially, and start to disrupt that heart-centered decision making where you're going with your own flow. You're going what is your feel good. They want to dismantle that. They want to shut down that flow within you, and they want to come in and they want to intervene, and they want to get attention right there when you're in your best moment or doing your thing, being you, your authentic self. If they can shut down that belief or experience of self and then the higher self, then they have the win. They have the prize. They have your attention, which is what they live on. Some people call it psychological vampires. Some people say they look at themselves in the mirror and they're afraid to look in the mirror because of the influence of this person. They no longer identify with who they see. They no longer identify with who they are. They feel depersonalized. They feel dehumanized. They feel desensitized. They feel a sense of dissociation from their self. I don't feel warm and fuzzy. I don't have self-care. I feel like I'm always in the way. I feel like I'm always not belonging. I feel like I'm out of place. I feel inhuman. Something is wrong. I feel very small. I feel afraid. I feel social anxiety. These are all the statements that are made by people who have experienced traumatizing relationships with a malignant narcissist who has engaged in excessive criticism, harsh judgment, and condemning and control of others. In other words, everything that you do is up for judgment. The way you walk, the way you dress, the way you breathe, the way you hold your head, the way you open a door, the where you get your groceries, how you set your table, the way you make your bed, the way, the speed with which you walk, the momentum with which you walk, the manner in which you speak. Everything is up for slinging. Everything is up for, the arrow, the harpoon. Everything is up for judgment. And the more that they can really get in and get that, relentlessly, in other words, they will exploit your vulnerability, your human desire to be liked. They will exploit your human desire for attachment, for bonding, that closeness that is natural. They will shame you for that very loving, beautiful aspect of yourself. So really, when we talk about the essence, the effervescence, the spirit of somebody, that which is unseen, but that which is what makes you you, that which makes your authentic self, that is what is lambasted. That is what is, set for target. That is what is zeroed in on, especially if you have been with them for a lifetime or for many years. You are going to be up for false accusations. Well, you did this and this. Well, you did this. They will never, ever be supportive of your side because it's always a way to get you on the underhand and for them to get the upper hand. So remember, the malignant narcissist has an insatiable need for power over others. It doesn't even have to be like over a nation or over a company. If there can be a few select people, a handful, an armful of people that they can have control over, and that they're always able to get in there, they have a sense of outer self-esteem. It's not internal self-esteem. It is that they are projecting all their negative problems and insecurities that unconsciously they feel. They're projecting it onto the innocent targets. In other words, remember the old adage, point a finger at somebody and you have four more pointing back at you? I mean, you, and you've got, your fingers, it's really you or the person, your thumb included, four fingers. In other words, everything that they are falsely accusing you of, they unconsciously actually feel the shame of that exact behavior. In other words, look at the way you do this and this. Look at the way, you speak. You speak too loud. You speak too this. It is actually those individuals who feel insecure about their own voice, so they are able then to project onto others their own feeling of inadequacy, so they don't have to deal with it. You can be obsessed with pain, and then therefore you don't have to ever be able to come back. You don't have the strength, you don't have the wherewithal, you're confused, you're disoriented, you're living in